Hello buddy, welcome back to the Hospital 98. So this is another Amphibia video. See, I've been making a lot of Amphibia videos lately. I promise there's only 2 more after this. Then I'll take a little break from Amphibia videos. But yeah, basically in today's video, we are going to be going over the entire character analysis of Sasha, like from her first appearance to her latest appearance in True Colors to like what she could be like in season 3, and basically like just her like whole thing, like is she going to be redeemed and stuff like that. So let's get started. Okay, so let's start off with her first appearance. At the end of episode 1, Sasha is seen, but she doesn't say anything, so at the time we didn't know what her character would be like. So yeah, let's move on to Prison Break. Okay, Prison Break. This was season 1, episode 10B. And this was like the first time we got to like actually like see like the whole like Sasha, like who she was as a character, what her personality was like. So yeah, Prison Break was all about Sasha. There's no Anne, no Sprig, no Polly, or Hop Pop. When watching season 1, this was one of my favorite episodes. This episode was just Sasha, Grime, and the Toads. Sasha is seen in this episode to be kind of nice, but also very manipulative. She negotiates with Grime that if she helps fight the herons and help Grime become nicer to the Toads, so they listen to him and have more confidence in themselves, increasing their chance of succeeding in a battle or a surprise attack, then he would let her out of the prison cell that he trapped her in. So yeah, basically we get like a little glimpse of what Sasha's character is like. You know, she's just like kind of manipulative. She can be nice, but you know, that's not like her like main personality trait. Next is Anne of the Year, season 1, episode 19B. Sasha is only seen at the end of this episode, where Anne and Sasha reunite for the very first time since going to Amphibia. We only get a small glimpse of this little reunion, which turns into a big reunion. But the next episode is one of Sasha's biggest. Okay, so we are talking about reunion now, but I'm not going to be doing a full review of it. I'm just talking about like Sasha's character in this episode. And yeah, this is my favorite episode of the show until True Colors premiered. So yeah, it's very good, so let's get into it. Reunion, season 1, episode 20. The episode starts with a flashback in which it is shown that Anne and Sasha are on good terms at school. So Sasha fakes sick so she and Anne can skip school. After they leave school, Sasha starts vandalizing the city a little bit with the graffiti of her name. But other than that, they just kind of have a fun day off for Anne's 13th birthday. But when Anne wants to return home to be there in time for her family's party that they're throwing for her birthday, Sasha's toxic side is shown. She forces Anne to go with her to meet up with Marcy, and Anne can't say no. This is Sasha's biggest flaw, being in control at all times and just not being a good friend to Anne. After the flashback, we leap back into Amphibia as all the members of Waybright head to Toe Tower for a banquet. Anne and Sasha head to Toe Tower, having a nice time. That is until Anne realizes Sasha and Grime both brought Waybright to Toe Tower to kill Hop Pop. After a failed attempt to safely evacuate the frogs from Toe Tower, Sasha is shown to be upset with Anne, forcing her to place her sword down, showing her toxic behavior once again. Sprig stands up to Sasha, which causes Sasha to try and kill Sprig, but Anne saves him. This leads into a battle between Sasha and Anne, in which Anne wins and stands up to Sasha. This makes Sasha start to rethink her choices. Sasha is left in shock about what just happened, and that causes her to fall off of Toe Tower as the Boom Shrooms are about to take down Toe Tower. And then Anne saves Sasha from falling to her doom. The planners are getting the residents of Waybright out of the tower to safety, but soon realize that Anne is slipping. The planners come and save Anne and Sasha, but even the four of them can't keep Sasha from falling. The song Lean On Me plays in the background, making the scene even more intense and emotional than it already is. Sasha realizes her actions once more and decides Anne would be better off without her. She then lets go of Anne's hand, sacrificing herself for Anne and the planters to survive. But she is saved by Graham at the last second, but is still badly injured. This scene shows Sasha's act of kindness and her redemption, kinda. So yeah, that's one of the most impactful scenes for Sasha of the entire show. So yeah, let's move on to her first Season 2 episode, Catcher. Season 2, Episode 4B. Catcher. After the events of Reunion, it was thought that Sasha would have a change of heart, but she doesn't. Since the events of Reunion, she has been training to take down the planters once and for all, as Graham is in a state of depression. Sasha gives Graham advice to go back to being the old Graham. As Sasha and Graham face General Yunan, Sasha is now officially ready to face off against Anne. Sasha and Graham are about to start their plan to take over Amphibia. This episode is a really good episode. There's not much development. I mean, there's a lot of development, but there's not much to say about it. So yeah, that's basically sums it up nicely. So yeah, that's Catcher. And let's move on to Barrel's Warhammer. Okay, I wrote quite a bit down for this episode, so let's get into it. Barrel's Warhammer is Season 2, Episode 17B. After not appearing on Amphibia for 8 months, besides in some flashback scenes, Sasha is finally back, and so is Graham. Sasha, Graham, Percy, and Graddock are presenting their plan to overthrow King Andreas to the higher-up Toads, who are the ones to make the decision. The Toads mentioned that King Andreas has been working with other humans, and Sasha realizes Anne and Marcy have been hanging out without her, making her outraged. When Sasha and Graham are said not to be good enough to complete the job because they don't feel too comfortable about a human working on it, they go out in search of Barrel's Warhammer. Sasha says to Percy and Graddock if they feel like they're in danger and want to turn back, they can just strike a pose. When Sasha and Graham find Barrel's Warhammer, they realize it's going to be harder than they originally thought to get. So Percy and Graddock get nervous and strike up arrows. Sasha sees them wanting to turn back, but she lets her selfishness get the best of her and continues her quest in getting the Warhammer back to the higher up Toads. After a successful mission, Sasha is feeling pretty good until Percy and Graddock leave Sasha and Graham after Sasha lied to them. Sasha is shown to be upset about them leaving, wondering if she made the right choice. Now let's talk about her in the Third Temple, which is Season 2, Episode 18B. So basically in this episode, there's a flashback scene before, but I'll cover it after I talk about the events of the episode. Okay, Sasha and Graham go to the Third Temple, and Sasha and Anne encounter each other for the first time since Reunion. Sasha puts on an act that she's had a change of heart and is nicer now, but Anne doesn't believe her. After helping Anne and Marcy complete the challenges in the temple, Anne is willing to give Sasha a second chance. At the end of the episode, where Graham is talking to Sasha about faking being nice to get into Utopia and take over, she has a guilty look on her face, knowing that this isn't the right thing to do. I feel like this scene at the end definitely builds up Sasha's redemption arc more, because kind of in the next episode, she kind of goes back to being mean, but, she still has a soft side and doesn't want to hurt or betray Anne and Marcy. Before the events of the Third Temple, a flashback scene occurs in which it shows the day where Sasha first met Anne and Marcy. Anne and Marcy are riding the swings at the park, the same park seen in the Amphibia intro, and two boys force them to move off the swings. Sasha sees them in trouble and tries to knock the boys off the swings, but she fails. The boys are weirded out by the situation and leave, leaving Sasha technically succeeded. Because of this, Anna and Mercy start hanging out with Sasha, showing that Sasha wasn't always a selfish person. Sasha also looks like pretty happy and, just like it just makes her feel happy that somebody wants to hang out with her. And this was when they were probably 4 or 5. So yeah, I feel like it's a nice, sweet scene. And yeah, just a little good scene before, what's happening now in the show. So yeah, anyways, let's move on to the dinner. Anne and Marcy host a dinner party at the planner's house since the friend group is finally back together and on good terms. But Sasha still hasn't changed, which is unknown information to Anne, the planters, and Marcy. The planter family is still scared of her, and Sprig has no problem making fun of her, getting in trouble, or making a bad guess, in quotation marks, causing her to get extremely angry. When the planners mistake her drawing of a tree as Toad Tower exploding, she reaches her limit and throws the easel, smashing it to pieces. In the end, Anne, Sasha, and Marcy agree that they can work things out with each other and have a fresh new start. If they only knew. So yeah, this episode shows fake character development. So, that kind of sucks. But let's move on to the episode directly after it. Season 2, episode 19B, Battle of the Bands. So in this episode, all the emotions and true colors, situation stuff, it's no big deal because this is the calm before the storm. This is Battle of the Bands, which surprisingly takes place in Woodwood. After the girls reunite, they decide to enter Woodwood's Battle of the Bands competition and decide to bring back their old garage band, Sasha and the Shucks. Sasha suggests that they play her song, Heart Stomper, but Anne wants to perform a song she wrote about Amphibia. Sasha gives in, but quickly changes almost everything about Anne's song and the setup of it. This shows her control freak side once again, having to be in charge of what's happening and having everything go her way. Sasha leaves the band and joins Toadie, but when Toadie just agrees with everything Sasha suggests, it annoys her. Sasha learns a valuable lesson from Toadie, that being a good friend just means being there for them when they need you most. Sasha decides to cancel her performance and joins Anne and Marcy since neither of them could do the guitar solo. Even though Sasha is still planning on betraying them, she still cares for her friends and wants them to succeed. Okay, now it is time for True Colors. This is the episode. Sasha and Grime reveal their true colors, betraying Anne, Marcy, the planners, and King Andreas. Sasha gets a hold of the Calamity Box and tries to send Anne and Marcy home, keeping them out of Amphibia forever. When it doesn't work, Anne has had enough of Sasha and is done being friends with her, making Sasha feel hurt inside. Grime gives Sasha a second sword as a gift, but when Sasha sees her reflection in the sword, she wonders if Anne is right about her being a horrible person. Grime tries to cheer her up by getting rid of the king's decorations around the castle, only to find out King Andreas' true colors. Sasha tries to warn Anne about Andreas, but Anne doesn't trust her and starts to fight with her, which turned into Anne vs. Sasha 2.0. Sasha didn't want to hurt Anne, though. How I know this is 100% true and not fake is because of the fact that Sasha spent months training for battle and has 2 swords, so she would have easily beat Anne. Sasha loses, though, causing Anne to close the gates, and the Toad army doesn't enter. After everyone finds out about Andreas' plan, Anne and Sasha work together once again to take down Andreas. but fail. Before I talk about Sasha's role in Season 3, I'm going to talk about the Sasha theme song takeover, which came out in January. There's really not much to say, just back in January, Sasha got her own theme song takeover. The theme song takeover doesn't give us much information as far as Sasha's character development goes, but it's really awesome. We get to see how Sasha arrived in Amphibia, and a lot of cool little details about her time there. Now, let's move on to Sasha in Season 3. Season 3. Not much is known about Season 3 just yet, but from the theme song, Sasha has a key role in Season 3. Sasha and Grime will be leading a rebellion against King Andreas, where all frogs, toads, and newts join forces to take him down. This is the start of a Sasha redemption arc, which is awesome. Here's one little other detail I need to point out. Surprisingly, even though Sasha's more like the careless student and the more like mean popular girl, she surprised better grades at school than Anne, as she is a B student and Anne is a C student. That's just something kind of interesting that I decided to point out. And now it's time for the closing. Sasha is shown to not be a great friend throughout the series, but as the series continues, she sees that she has flaws, and she sees that she is not a great person, but has a hard time getting rid of those flaws. Season 3 will most likely change that, since Amphibia is all about change, trust, friendship, etc. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Sasha will change by Season 3? And what are your thoughts about her role in Season 3? And I hope you guys all enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.